So there's a stock today that ran up 28% out of nowhere within a very short period of time. And a lot of people are asking what caused this catalyst, because there's always a reason, right? What's going on, guys? It's Ricky here with Technical Solutions. Just wanted to break this down for someone that is watching this and that is asking the simple question, why? So again, I really hope that you learned something new. And if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. So one thing that I talk about with our LPP team every morning during our live session is always be aware of these short-lived catalysts, because that's all this is. This is DJT, and I talk about DJT in the same way that I talk about AMC and GME. They're short-lived pump and dumps. So they're all based off of some form of catalyst that normally does not last a very long period of time and that always end up correcting themselves. They have a 100% failure rate, meaning that they rally and we can never predict how high one is going to go, but one thing is certain, they will never hold at those overbought levels. So DJT, to make it very simple today, DJT is a social media application that was made by former President Trump. With that being said, it's called Truth Social. And it really doesn't have much to do with the fundamentals of that company, because if it had anything to do with Truth Social and how they produce revenue, the stock wouldn't even be trading at an $18 market cap. It would be trading at, maybe a few pennies. And the reason why is that it doesn't produce enough revenue in comparison to how much it actually loses. But Trump, the big conspiracy was that, again, this market cap is $3.6 billion. And this is not the highest price point that DJT has hit. There's been times that DJT rallies. It's rallied to highs of supposedly 170. It's rallied to highs of almost $100 per share. It then aggressively sold off and then began to pick up some traction once this merger was confirmed. It wasn't previously DJT at a previous ticker before, but once it was confirmed that this merger was going to happen, it began going from, again, $17 per share all the way up to 56. We pulled on back to highs of 79. We pulled on back to highs of 55. So can you make money trading these pump and dump stocks? 100%. Is it a consistent way with low risk for beginners to make money? No, right? And I just feel like I needed to say it that way so beginners watching this understand that, yes, this does come at a greater form of risk. You can make money doing anything, but if you suck at managing risk, if you suck at being able to properly enter and exit a stock successfully, this is just not an environment, a condition that you will most likely be successful in over a long period of time. And the reason I say this is because today it was expressed by Trump that he was not going to sell his shares to pretty much opt out of Truth Social once he was given the option to. For those that are not familiar, sometimes either executives, such as Trump, when it comes down to being an owner of this application, has to wait a specific amount. It's like a grace period from when it goes public and when the merger happened. Sometimes it could be 6 months, sometimes it could be a year, sometimes it could be 2 years, that then they have the option to be able to actually exercise their right to liquidate and sell their position in the company that they currently own. And that is a big concern for investors, right? Because obviously, even though DJT is only at $18 per share, it's still worth $3.6 billion. And to my understanding, he owns like 55% of this. So he owns and is valued at what do we want to call it? Like 1.5, 1.6 billion dollars, just even at this lower price per share. So definitely having a top exec like Trump stating that he is not going to be selling or liquidating his shares is encouraging for current investors. Now, as you could imagine, you would be like, wait, really? That's why it gapped up? Yep. Just because of that, right? So within a very short period of time, it gapped up. I think it originally gapped up like 10 or 12%. It caused a circuit breaker, which means that it halted, and it halts for about a few minutes to maybe 5, and then once it resumes trading, it gaps back up again. And if another circuit breaker halts the stock, then you have to wait another 5 to 10 minutes. With that being said, gapped up to highs of $20.86. And from overall lows that we were trading at, within 5 to 6 minutes, it gapped up 28.48%. And then, just like anything, right? It reaches its peak demand within a very short period of time. People realize, hey, yeah, this might be good news, because if Trump's not selling, then there is potential for this stock to continue to rally, especially if he wins the presidential election. And that's kind of the way that I see this stock itself. It's not necessarily how well the company is doing, but it's how well Trump is doing in the polls. And if he ends up getting elected president, it wouldn't really surprise me that maybe this stock can skyrocket, right? Randomly and for no fundamental reason other than he got elected as to be president and everyone wants to support him, the stock could potentially go up. Again, and that's what you have to be very careful with. It's not about the fundamental performance of this company, because if that were to be the case, fundamentally, this is a shit company. Just like, again, a lot of those meme stocks are shit companies and they were failing for a reason. But as these companies begin to rally and become overbought, just make sure that you become aware of these overbought levels. And then when these reversals happen, because one of my favorite things to do is to identify these short-lived catalysts, not to go long on them, but to actually short them on the way down. So you have to be very, very cautious, because short interest, people are interested in shorting these overbought stocks, within a short period of time as they become very overbought. So it's just something to take into consideration. I wanted to make sure that you had a full understanding of what exactly happened here, what caused this thing to gap up, and then why it quickly corrected itself. And it's just simply because, again, it was a short-lived catalyst that was that rallied based off of Trump's social media stock DJT swords. As former President Trump says, he won't sell the stock when lockup period ends. Very simple, very straightforward. Some people would laugh at that, for that potentially to be the reason on why it gaps up, but it just shows, again, how volatile and how extremely risky a stock like this can be when it's influenced so heavily on such insignificant news, really, if you think about it. And again, my quick little trade on DJT, I walked away with around $1,300 on the day. So I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. Again, please consider subscribing. Remember, I go live every single morning at market open for our live trading session, especially if you're a complete beginner and you learn best by watching other people do. If you ever want to watch me trade live, you can sign up today and actually watch me trade live as soon as Monday when the market opens. And again, that's going to be that second link in the description down below. Do not forget to check out our wall art. As you guys can see, I have one there and one there. We have over 120 designs. If you guys want to check it out, it's going to be that fourth link in the description down below, or shoptechbuds.com. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.